Welcome to the OnlyFans Secrets Marketing Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to help both new and established OnlyFans creators learn the basics of online branding, marketing, and promotion to help you make more money with your content and maximize your time online. My name is Richard Lewis, and I have over 20 years of internet marketing experience. So let's get started with today's topic. And that topic is OnlyFans marketing education on Udemy. Okay, so as many longtime listeners to this podcast know, I am very passionate about marketing education for OnlyFans creators. All right, so since content creators are primarily left to their own devices online, kind of with a survival of the fittest system, in that way, I've decided that since very little education existed, I would create this podcast. And I have now also begun to create marketing education courses specifically for OnlyFans creators on the site Udemy. In this episode, I'll review that and what creators can gain from marketing education. Okay, so what is Udemy? And so I reviewed many sites having to do with education. There are a lot of them, especially since the pandemic, as far as, online platforms where you could get, educational courses. And Udemy was not only one of the most popular platforms, but it was one of the easiest to use for users. So I went ahead and signed up, took a few of the classes on there to get a feel for it. And it was very easy to use, so it's pretty much just sign up, and then you sign up for the course, and then you just hit play on the different, videos that are in the course, and you're off to the races. So there wasn't a lot of complication from signing up or getting started. So I wanted something that was going to be easy for OnlyFans creators to use. All right. And it is at udemy.com, and that's udemy.com. And it offers thousands of learning classes online that you can take at your own pace. So not just the class that I've created, but there are a lot of other great marketing education and just general education, but I'm focused mainly on marketing education, but there's lots of marketing education classes on there as well. So the cost structure is reasonable. I liked that, where you can put a minimum of $9.99 American dollars, with a max of, hundreds of dollars, obviously, for the more, experienced kind of courses, more deep learning. Courses are very expensive, but primarily most of the courses on there run, around $9.99 to $20. So again, the cost structure was reasonable, and you could also get started without like a huge investment, which I liked as well. So a lot of the other sites, they are more about trying to sell you a package, as far as as an educator, and sign up and create a school, and then they promise they're going to do something for you, market you, and you're like, okay. And, even Udemy has, like a program saying, they're going to advertise you on Twitter, if you start one of your courses and then you go on Twitter and you see it's just a link to all their new courses. So they don't actually promote you individually, but, everyone kind of uses slip of the tongue to describe what they're going to do for people. Rarely is it what you think it's going to be. But Udemy overall is a very solid platform, a trusted platform. Again, it has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of students that are on there. I saw one profile that the person had almost 900,000 students all by themselves. So you can imagine there's millions of people who are on Udemy, and, thousands of classes. Okay, so what kind of course did I create for OnlyFans creators? So I wanted to start with a 101 level course. Those people who have been to college or taken any kind of college classes know that 101 is the baseline. That's, the first level that you take. If you're interested in becoming a poli-sci major, you have to take poli-sci 101, that kind of thing. And, I definitely want to teach the fundamentals of marketing, for OnlyFans pages. So that would be useful to intermediate and new OnlyFans creators. And I guarantee that there's a lot of people who are successful right now in the top 1% on OnlyFans that could use this kind of education as well. Because, it's going over the basics, but it's also expanding out how marketing works in 2021 as far as how you can promote yourself. And I made the course at the lowest level that you could, which was $19.99. As I mentioned, it goes as low as $9.99. That's with a discount. So their lowest package is $19.99. But it generally discounts down to $11.99 or $9.99 when you send out, a coupon, which is, ideal. The goal here is not so much to have something that's expensive for creators, but something that's reasonable. I know a lot of people who are going on to OnlyFans as a creator, their goal is to make money from it. So any amount of money is a lot of money. So I wanted to go ahead and make the courses, the lowest possible so that people would be able to get this kind of education. And, I created the first OnlyFans course that's been on Udemy. When you look up OnlyFans now on Udemy, we're number one. There's a lot of things that are listed there. There's no other actually OnlyFans courses, but it's pretty easy to find when you go onto the site because, we pop up first, which is great. Obviously OnlyFans is still in what I consider to be its infancy as a platform. So, people aren't necessarily taking it, as seriously as they might something, like a TikTok or Facebook, so therefore I felt that it needed its own education because, as an OnlyFans creator, if you've been doing this for more than, a month, that it has its own challenges. So the title of the course is Learn OnlyFans Marketing 101. And before I even started the course, I contacted Udemy, which, to make sure that the term OnlyFans, as we've gone over before in this podcast, can sometimes have a different light than, how we see it. So I just let them know. I said, I'm going to create this class, is there any issue? And, they said, no, as long as you're keeping this to, PG marketing topics, which is what the seminar and courses go over. They do not touch on anything that's 18 plus. Obviously, you guys know that that's what I'm speaking about primarily in the course, but I'm going over the different marketing channels you can use, without that particular stigma shown there. So, all right, so what does the course cover? Right, so I went ahead and did 7 lectures in this course. So it's 7 videos. They range from anywhere from 10 or 11 minutes up to I think 15 or 16 minutes for each video. So in total, it's about 90 minutes total in lessons, about an hour, 29 minutes total of education. And the topics include getting started with OnlyFans marketing, which was an introduction, just basically explaining, getting your foundation up, as far as what to do from there, how to choose, where to start marketing, a basic video on, the introduction to both OnlyFans and then online marketing. And then that was section 1. And then the second section is marketing and social channels. And that is identifying the best marketing and social channels for you. That's one of the course names. And in that one, I go over looking at what your strengths are as a creator and which channels you should start, marketing on, what you should begin with as far as, marketing your OnlyFans. And then the second course in that section was picking what marketing channel to start with. So in that course, I go from basically talking about your strengths in the previous, course, to talking about the specific social channels. So in identifying the best marketing social channels for you, I go over the channels themselves. And then in the next course, picking what marketing channels, I go over, what your strengths as a creator, is overall, and how you can tie those two things together. So making sure that, you identify a good channel that also works with the kind of content that you want to create as a creator. And then the next section was creating effective ads and promotion. And the title of that video was creating effective ads and promotion. So in that one, I go over just, what kind of ads you should create, what you should be, doing with those ads. You go over the concept of, creating a hook and a message and a story, and then a good offer at the end. So kind of go over the fundamentals of getting people to actually take interest in your ads. And the next section was following social channel rules. And I go over in that course, following social channel rules, basically making sure that you don't run afoul of any of the popular social channels, and just making sure that you know the rules, which channels are friendly to OnlyFans, which ones are not. And then, how to make sure that you don't run afoul and get into any trouble and have all of your work that you've been doing, like if you've been building up on a marketing channel for a long time, how to make sure that it doesn't just disappear, all that work overnight. And then in the last section is a section on organic growth. So the first part is techniques to build an online following. So in that, I go over some of the things that we've touched on in this podcast before, finding, hobbies and niches that will help you grow your online audience that then you can move along to your OnlyFans. So I'm pretty adamant in that course about finding fame of some sort besides just what you're producing on your OnlyFans. So, being able to create something else that will make you attractive to people, not necessarily just pictures and videos that they see in your promotions. And then lastly, I have growing your OnlyFans page organically as a course. It was one of our most popular podcasts recently in the last month. So it's just basically going over, the importance of slow growth, measured growth, taking the time to, water your plants as we went over before, making sure, and I go over in that and step by step, how to grow your social channels and your OnlyFans page organically. So for a lot of people, they don't necessarily want to listen to a podcast. They are more visual learners. So I wanted to create a course that went over a lot of the fundamentals of the podcast for those people who are more visual learners. So even if you have been listening to this podcast for a while and you are a visual learner, but you've been listening, this course could help you a bit more than even the podcast, because you'll be able to visually see what I'm talking about and going over step by step. So it's definitely visual with graphics and obviously my voiceover of everything, going step by step how to improve upon a lot of these things. So my goal is definitely to build this course, and if I get a lot of good response from creators, obviously people signing up is a great response, I will create more courses in the future that go a lot deeper into OnlyFans marketing, which I've been doing in this podcast. Every once in a while, I do a deep dive episode, where it's a lot, more, step-by-step, deeper marketing than just general overview. So I'm hoping